Okay, so this week I would like to talk about the safety culture and safety climate. Okay, so safety culture and safety climate, when you heard about this term, what comes to your mind? Safety climate. Safety climate is not like the climate change, okay? Some students actually try to answer. It's like, oh, sir, ergonomics also talk about the safety climate, with which the climate change. I'm like, wow, I've never seen that kind of paper, so far. But this is actually totally two different terms, okay, between the safety climate and then climate change. Okay, so in here, actually, this is actually a topic fall under the macro ergonomics. Okay. So now let me explain a little bit about the safety culture and safety climate. Okay, so safety culture, right? This is actually that the definition of the safety culture. Okay, see, product of individual and group values, attitudes, perceptions, competencies, and patterns of behavior that determine the commitment and the style and proficiency of the organization's health and safety management. Okay, so this is actually a definition of the safety culture in 1986. So it is actually the human and his or her organization, the attitude, the perceptions, the competencies towards this safety in their industry, okay, or in their industry or in their manufacturing organization, something like that. Okay, so for instance, okay, you see the crack on the wall. Okay, you crack on the wall, then what will you do? Okay, for example, in Mapua, okay, I've seen that I reported one. It's actually that I forget leaked water. Okay, so I reported leaked water. Why report water? I have to report that because I've seen so many like accident, or not just read, not just see, okay, but also read, some of the detailed cases, including the death cases, okay, including the death cases actually because of the fall. Okay, the fall, and then the head hit the wall, sorry, the head hit the floor, and then yeah, someone might die, even just it's just the leaked water. So that time I reported the leaked water. Okay, and then another one, the term of the safety climate, okay, is actually by Dov Zohar, okay, Professor Dov Zohar, from Israel, I think. So this one, okay, this is actually even older, in 1980. Okay, look at that one. A summary, we call it this one, a summary of molar perceptions that employees share about their work environment. Or another one, shared perception of employees about the importance of safety within their organization. Okay, so actually everyone, the term safety climate, okay, if you see in terms of the history, okay, it's older. But now, okay, now people just use the term safety culture, okay, to make it like more, I would like to say, general, okay, in terms of the safety climate. But now people just feel like there is no such kind of like agreement between even among us as ergonomics researchers. So we don't have the agreement what is this the definition of safety culture and safety climate. But okay, we basically talk about like how the individual and the organization's perception towards the safety, okay, in their firm or in their industry. Okay, and safety culture is actually we do, the Cenobril, but now we, there is a war right there, right, in the Cenobril, right? But in the past, the term safety culture becomes so popular because of the disaster, because of the nuclear disaster in the Cenobril. Okay, um do you know what kind of disaster? Some parts of the uranium, okay, leaked, okay, in the air. Do you know what happened? Well, you can search. I don't want to give you the picture. It's so scary, everyone. That is the radioactive thing. And then when it reached the human, I don't want to tell you. You can see by yourself. Okay? It's so scary, to watch those things. Okay. Mhm. So safety culture, we talk about this three. Okay, the person, you yourself. Okay, and then the second one, the environment. Okay, the environment. The last one is like your behavior. Okay, the person, the behavior, the environment. We talk about the safety culture in here, actually. Okay, this here. Okay, now we talk about your company. Can you do CPR? Let me ask, is there a CPR training in your company? Everyone, have you received that kind of training?
Uh, For us, sir, it was only online, so we don't really have the hands-on experience on the CPR yet since the pandemic
Before,
happened.
in the past,
Oh,
before pandemic.
in the past. No, I haven't. I only had my training pandemic period, so everything was done virtually at the time.
Okay, okay. So, but is there AED in your company? AED? No.
Yes, sir, we have AED.
Okay. Okay. So at least you have AED and you know where it is. That is actually quite important. Now, another one. Do you know how? Do you know what number if there in case of the fire? The number if you dial that for the firefighters. You know the number. No.
It's just posted.
Oh, see. Okay, so that kind of the training is actually very important, everyone. Okay, every time when I move to a new place, okay, I will always be have a situational awareness that just in case there is a fire or earthquake or tsunami or any kind of like man-made disasters. Okay, I know how to evacuate. At least I know how. That is the thing. I have to be aware because we don't know. Some there was a place, one of my favorite karaoke places, when I was studying in Taiwan. Okay, there was fire, big fire, and you know what, some of them died, in the karaoke place. Okay, you can search karaoke, Taiwan and fire. Okay, some of them died. So scary, if you really look at the video. Okay, and then, so that's why I'm thinking about, like, so it means if there is an accident like that one, then what's the problem? You have to check the safety culture, before that accident. Let's see what happened, the safety culture. Okay, so safety culture is actually, what we talk about, this one: psychological, behavioral, and situational, we call it situational awareness of the organization, because this is actually that a company base. Okay, so this is the safety climate. Okay, safety climate, it's quite popular because of what, like I've mentioned before, because of the nuclear disaster. Okay, because of the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl. This one, Chernobyl. Okay, in well, but if you check now, Chernobyl, it will be a different news, right? I just hope that, when I upload this one, I'll be fine. Okay, because if you check Chernobyl right now, it's another picture. Okay, another picture, occupied by another country, and like they are doing, they're still having a war right now, and so on. Okay, so the term is actually like quite popular. Okay, because of that one. The attitude, for example, crack on the wall, you just like, I don't care, it's just skip it, we don't need to report that one. And crack on the wall, do you know what happened? Sometimes if you have the crack on the wall, what will happen if the crack on the wall, suddenly the building like collapse, because of that crack. Okay, like a small earthquake, then because of the old crack that you did not report, then eventually it turned out to be a very severe disaster, to your to you. Okay, so this is actually that this is very technical, and sorry, this is very textbook, but I would like to tell you a simple one. It's actually like this one. I would like to tell you this one. Nowadays, okay, we do not make like what is the safety culture, safety climate. We just make it like, it's okay, you're talking the same thing. It's actually what about the attitude of an organizational, right, an individual towards the safety. As simple as that one. Okay, perception, attitude, and then preparedness, those are actually the safety culture and safety climate. Okay, we don't really debate. Okay, we don't really debate about those things, nowadays. Okay, but if you really check, usually, okay, safety culture, it's bigger than the safety climate. Some people believe that the safety culture is actually much bigger than the safety climate. Okay, but how to measure that one? How to measure? Okay, how to measure safety climate and then the safety culture? Usually people will use just the questionnaire base, everyone. Questionnaire base. In general, okay, we use the questionnaire base. Even up to 2022, we still use the questionnaire base, okay, about the safety culture, okay? Because, you know, um, um, these two are a little bit different in when people comes to the safety climate and safety culture. But for me, I still just make it like, guys, just talking about the same thing, you know? Some people, okay, mention that for safety culture, after the questionnaire, they have to do the interview and observation, inspection, something like that one, you know, just not just about that, oh yeah, everything is fine, and then you go. But some people, they do the interview and observation, okay? Okay, and after that, they use the questionnaire too. Okay, so it means like if you do safety culture, some people believe that it's actually much bigger, but for me, you know, it's going to be, yeah, it's the same, you know. Or behavior-based safety, that is another term, you know, for you. You might use that term, behavior-based safety. That is okay. Okay, behavior-based safety. So in here, okay, safety culture, like about the psychological, behavior, and situational. This is actually one slide that I got. Okay, this is actually quite good. Another one, you know what, the safety culture, they also talk about what the good leaders, okay, about the good leaders, you know, and then how to use how to make the safety culture into a business practice. Hey, trust me, safety culture is a big business too, you know. In a company, you know what, if you make the training of the safety and health training and so on, it costs a lot of money for safety and training. There are some companies that really specialize in the safety and health to really just provide the safety and health, or like inspection, or like you know, the auditing, you know, like how safe this place it is, you know, how safety that place it is, you know. Usually like or usually in a manufacturing company, or in general industry, okay, you have the health and safety environment, HSE. Okay, usually in general they have this kind of department, HSE, okay, health, safety, and environment. Okay, usually, okay, they have this kind of department. Okay, so let me show it to you some example of one study. Okay, okay, of the safety climate. Okay, this study is actually conducted in the shipbuilding. Okay, when you build the ship, okay, when you the shipping, for example, like the container, you know, like a shipping container, and then a very big ship, you know, for international, you know, export and import. Okay, so in there is one study actually try to see about the safety climate, okay, in that kind of place. Okay, so this study tried to distribute the questionnaire, okay, to all the participants in that, no, all the workers, okay, the shipbuilding workers in that company. Okay, and I think this study collected almost 200, almost every workers, you know, like one person kind of like, wait, excuse me, can you you know, fill this form, can you fill this form, and so on. Okay, I will have another study that will be published very soon. Okay, but this one is actually in power plant in the Quezon province. Wait, it will be published next month. Okay, so I'm still finalizing the minor revisions. Okay, so in here there are 7 dimensions that this study wants to measure, and those consist of this one: management safety priority, commitment, and competence; management safety empowerment; management safety justice; safety commitment; safety priority, risk not acceptance; safety communication, learning, and trust in the efficacy of safety system. Okay, very interesting, right? Because sometimes when you're like, oh, you have like this one, this is just a you know, wasting money and so on. Hey, you know, if there is an accident, the cost is even bigger. Yesterday there was one big fire in Taiwan. You know, sorry everyone, because I study in Taiwan, so every time when there is a news about Taiwan, I know. Okay, there was big fire, and I was kind of like, wow, it's a huge amount of money, you know, and always about the fire and so on. Okay, so if there is a fire, you lost everything basically. Okay, in that company, almost you lost everything. Okay, it's just empty. Okay, because of the fire. And another one, safety culture, is actually in this study. Okay, in this study is actually this is quite a new one. This is actually in the civil engineering laboratory. Okay, you know, the people in the civil engineering, they have to do the testing, right, with the soil, you know, with the the asphalt, the soil, and then those things, you know, in the civil engineering, and then they would like to see how good the safety culture in the laboratory. Interesting, right? I mean, if you are from the chemical engineering or from the those that require laboratory work, you know, like chemical engineering, chemistry, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, or like civil engineering, like really like that could be an accident, you know, that might happen, you know, in the laboratory. So how good the safety culture in that class? For example, let me see. For example, if there is a user, only the serious accidents are reported by the users, 1 to 5 Likert scale. For example, only unusual events that resulted in serious accidents are analyzed by the civil engineering laboratory, something like that one. Okay, so this kind of dimension, okay, is very important for you about what you really want to measure in your safety culture. Okay, and later on the method, okay, everyone, you can don't worry if you, for example, sir, I am interested in this topic, okay, but very few or very rare actually students interested in this topic. But if you are interested in this topic, okay, then please inform me. Okay, I can help you with running the data and the model. Okay, this is going to be very like journal level, but don't worry, I can help you slowly, okay, about this study. So it's going to be like this. For example, this one. Safety climate is a dimension of safety culture. Some people believe it that safety culture is bigger than safety climate. Like I told you, right? Safety culture, they do the observation, they do the interview, and so on. And this is actually one perspective from some professors. Okay, some professors believe like that, but for me myself, I think it's going to be the same. You know, they're talking about the same things. Now, this is the publication by Sir Arvin Abela. This is actually my MSEM student, but I persuaded him to pursue PhD because he's kind of like, yeah, sir, but you know, at the beginning he was kind of like, oh, sir, I'm already at this age, and then for me, I just at the beginning, I don't know, I studied master degree for promotion, and then but now I feel like I like doing the research, you know, and so on. Then I think what he's doing is actually quite impactful. So then I say like, oh, sir, why don't you try to pursue a PhD program, you know, and we can publish your master thesis for your PhD, one of your PhD requirements. Ta-da! It will be published next month, okay? It's a lot of hard work for this one, okay? This is actually the safety, behavior-based safety. I don't use the term safety climate. It's almost the same, actually. Behavior-based safety or like the safety climate and so on is the same, okay? And safety participations in the Philippine power plant workers, a structural equation modeling approach. Okay. Okay. So this is actually the construct. Okay. What factors will influence the behavior-based safety among those workers in the power plant? Can you imagine, you know, people in the power plant, okay, some of them have sorry to say, they have a low education level. They have low education level. Okay, so what will happen? Okay, and it's a power plant. You know, can you imagine if power plant explode? You know, not just explode, like the blackout that you have to you shoulder. You know, like among in the Quezon province. You know, not just Quezon province, even like the provinces next to the Quezon. You know, will be affected. Okay, so that's why. And then the turnover intention is very high in the company. Okay, some people just get out and then like, oh, it's okay, we can recruit new person, you know, it's a not big deal, you know, and so on, because we just use the labor base and so on. So that's why I would like to conduct that study, how to enhance the behavior-based safety in that company. Okay, so in here, okay, he constructed this one: personal measures, safety management system, safety culture, safety communication, job stress, incentive, and safety perception. Okay, what is what 4449533? This is actually the items, the questions, okay, the indicators or the questions under this Latin. Okay, so this is actually like the model. Okay, this is actually like the model, very complicated model. Okay, but if you are interested in this one, okay, for example, sir, I would like to learn how to run structural equation modeling and so on, then okay, then I'll teach you how to do this one privately, one by one, because I don't, usually this one, like very few students would like to do this one. So every time when there is a very like challenge taker students, not just like getting the master degree for promotion, but also for learning the, another like challenging things, some students actually, I could see that. I say like, oh, just come to me privately. Okay, let me just teach you how to do it. Okay, but I told using the students, hey, you know what? I spend time on you. Okay, don't waste my time. Okay, so if I spend time on you, make sure that you work hard on that one. Otherwise I'll get mad. So yeah, usually like the publication is actually quite beautiful every time when we work on this one. So this is the hypothesis. So it means like one line in here is actually one hypothesis. So there are so many hypotheses in here. So look at this one, behavior-based safety, and then later on it goes to the safety participation. Okay, so in here, okay, everyone, what is actually like the good factors that go to the safety safety participation? Is it the incentive, or the less job stress, or the safety communication, or just your personal measure? Okay, your own personal measure, the individual things is actually quite big, or incentive or management system or so on. So we would like to see what happened first, and later on, based on this one, we would like to try to really apply it to the company. Okay, I will not tell you the result, but because it's not published yet, I'll share it to you, the paper, when it's actually ready. Okay, so we use the Smart PLS. Okay, this is the software. Another one is actually you can utilize Amos, but we use Smart PLS, okay, for this work, for running this one. And then yeah, this is the factor loading and so on. But don't worry, don't worry about these mathematic things. Okay, don't worry about this mathematic things. Okay, the most important is like, before if you're not interested in this one, why should I explain this one in the detailed things, right? But if you are like, sir, I think this is kind of topic that somehow very interesting, okay, just let me know first, okay, because this one is so mathematics and so advanced. Okay. Okay, I will not tell you the result. So in here, very interesting that the one that I found, the incentive, it was not significant. Somehow I felt like I thought that the incentive is actually the quite a good one. Okay, but that in the place, is not really the only factors, that go to the behavior based safety. It was actually another one. Okay, another factors that not the safety incentive. I thought it would be the safety incentive. Okay, but it's actually not. Okay, based on the based on the model that I created, I felt like this is quite a little bit challenging and a little bit different. Okay, so when we talk about the safety culture and safety climate, okay, there are so many things that perhaps you might do. For example, the safety climate in your barangay. Okay, when I was in Bacolod, okay, I've been to Philippines in almost many places, starting from the extreme one is like, for example, like Marinduque, like Maniwaya Island, Iloilo, Bacolod, Bais, Dumaguete, Cebu. I circle the Cebu, Bohol, and then of course Coron, El Nido. And for I've been to the Davao. I've been to how say that oh my god, I forget the Zamboanga. I've been to Zamboanga. Okay, and I've been to how we call that, the Pink Island. I forget. Well, I've been to so many places actually in the Philippines. Okay, so I think the best one, for the safety culture in the barangay. Okay, the best one so far that I have seen. Okay, in Bacolod, pretty good. because when I was in Bacolod, okay, that time I was in Mascara. Okay, I was very fortunate that I came to Bacolod exact and Bacolod and another one there is a island resort. I forget what's that resort. Yeah, it's a bit far. Lakawan. Okay, Lakawan. I've been to Lakawan Island. Okay, and then when I was at the Bacolod, okay, I've seen so many ambulance. It's not ambulance. I'll see like so yeah like ambulance like kind of ready. Okay, kind of ready almost like because they say like when I went there it was just for a project and they say like, oh, we have a training for barangay, how if there is a fire, because there was a fire there in barangay too, or I forget. Okay. And then they kind of like do another training, so if there is a fire, what should they do, what should they call, and then if there is someone pass out, like suddenly like suddenly someone fell and then unconscious, and then what will you do, and so on. So and what the ambulance, what you need to dial, and then they say like within less than 2 minutes, the ambulance will reach you. At the beginning I did not believe that. At the beginning I was kind of like, really that fast, in Metro Manila perhaps, like I don't know, but in Bacolod we're like, wow, it's true. It's true, but because like when I had the dinner there, and I just tried to circle by myself, during the mascara, okay. And then when I felt like, oh, I found there's ambulance, I feel like, yeah, it's true. When you just call, they're ready, to really save you. So that thing, safety culture is important. Okay, very important. Safety culture and safety climate. Even for me, when I, when I was in Mapua, okay, the when everything was still before COVID, okay, of course, before COVID, okay, we received the training, basic the training, the safety training about the safety and health and what should you evacuate and so on. So that is actually the thing, very important thing. Okay. Okay, so and safety culture becomes like a basic culture when you come to Japan. Every time when you enter a building, okay, they always tell like what here happened, evacuation and so on. Because of what? Because imagine, what, when I was in Japan, I studied there for 1 year. Right? When I was in Japan, can you imagine, every day earthquake, everyone. Earthquake is like 3 point something, 4 point something, almost every day. And at a certain point, it was so scary, but after that, I think I get used to it. I really get used to it. So I felt like, but I experienced 6.2. I scared 6.2, really. And then there was a tsunami there, 10 centimeters, sorry, 10 centimeters, very like small, 10 centimeters, but there was a very little bit small tsunami, like a little bit small flood, in the Chiba region. Okay, I was at Tokyo, right, that time. And I came to Japan exactly 6 months after the tsunami in 2011. So yeah, I was at 2011 until 2012. I studied there. Okay, so yeah, I realized that, wow, this is kind of like a country with a. You think Philippines is like yeah, Philippines kind of like the Ring of Fire, but Japan, can you imagine like four Ring of Fires? It's like, yeah, that's why every day earthquake there. So it's like, it's just like earthquake everywhere and every time. Okay, then safety culture becomes just a habit. It becomes just a habit. Okay, safety culture. Okay, well, in Japan, everything is just become so uh, uh, just a culture. Okay, so yeah, any questions regarding safety culture and safety climate?